Hi there, Erin Lee here of heavenlymessenger.com. Welcome to today's Oracle Chats. This weekend, it is just going to be me, just me. Bobbi had the celebration of life yesterday for her dear aunt who passed earlier this year, and she is taking some time off, some time away, which is well deserved. I think it's a really great reminder that, regardless of who you may be and what you may do, that there are always times that we are going to need to slow down and to take care of ourselves. It kind of reminds me of the idea that has been surfacing lately that self-care is wonderful, but it's usually something that we do long after we need it. Like we're in the mode where we're needing to take care of ourselves because leading up to it we hadn't been taking care of ourselves. So may this be an invitation for you and for me, goodness knows I need it too, to focus on proactive self-care, where we're doing things before we need to take care of ourselves, and just having that as being part of our regular routine, whether it's on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. You know better than anybody else what you need. So welcome again to the show. It's such a joy to be here with all of you. We're not doing readings on the show today. I do those exclusively on my Tuesday evening show, Connection with Intention, on my Facebook page, Heavenly Messenger. But since we do have the new moon coming up just around the corner on Wednesday, I thought we could do a little bit of new moon work for that. New moon is all about manifestation, so we'll do some releasing, some forgiveness, and some manifestation. And as always, I would love to hear your questions. So again, these are general questions, not readings. But if you have questions about angels and spirituality and psychic ability and intuition, and I'll put spirit and mediumship out there, because through connecting with Bobbi more, I think like there's a little bit of osmosis that's coming in. So I'm happy to tackle those questions. And if there isn't if it's something I don't know, I'm going to jot it down, because in this coming week, Bobbi and I are going to be doing a couple of pre-recorded shows. We came to the realization that we have a couple of weekends where both of us are not able to connect with you guys on Sunday in the month of August. So we're going to make sure that we do. I'll talk about that a little bit more. I want to say hi to everybody who's here, because it's just such a joy for me that you guys are here. So JC, hi. And Sarah, it's wonderful to see both of you. Thanks for joining me. And Kareen, hello. It's great to see you too. Leslie, yay, you made it. And Leslie's saying happy Sunday to everyone. Happy Sunday. Let me see. And Valerie, hello. Thanks for popping on. And Lorianne and Bobbi, it's wonderful to see all of you. And just to clarify, this is a different Bobbi, not the anyway. Hello, Bobbi. Welcome. So I want to put it out there before we jump into doing any new moon work. Does anybody have any questions that they've been wondering about? Things that they're wondering about with angels, or experiences, or other things that have happened? JC, hi, it's great to see you. Let me know. Drop it into the comments. I'd love to talk about it. Carrie, hello. It's so good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Wonderful. So while we're checking to see if there are any questions that are coming in, now could be a really great time to grab a piece of paper, grab a pen. For if you want to join in, I strongly recommend using pen and paper, because I think there's something really significant and special about doing that. If you aren't able to grab pen and paper for whatever reason, don't worry, you can still do it with us. It doesn't have to be special paper. This is just scrap paper that I'm using. It's paper that I got for my writing that just wasn't working for the purpose that I had for it. And so now it has become my scrap and my new moon and full moon releasing paper. For pen, I've got a Bic pen. It's pink. That's the only thing that's potentially special about it. That, and whoops, I'm about to do some magic with it with all of you. So, I really like to do this come as you are. When it comes to any sort of work that I do for myself, sometimes I'll pull special things in, but I think it's really important not to get caught up in the tools that we use. It's really easy to put things off if you don't have everything just right and just so. And the fact of the matter is, like, the magic, the thing that brings all of this to life is you. So as long as you're there, then the magic's there. So whatever you need, just bring it along. Awesome. Okay, let me see. We've got another Erin. Hi, Erin. Thanks for joining us. Let me see. And there we go. Okay, so we've got Sarah. Sarah saying that she asked her spirit guides, and archangels for a sign the other day, and I was shown beautiful butterflies. That's amazing. And Sarah's asking about the significance of butterflies. So for me, butterflies mean transformation. It means that things are shifting and changing, and often our deceased loved ones will come through in butterflies as well. My friend's stepson passed away several years ago, and that was one of the ways that he let us know that he was around. Is just suddenly there were butterflies everywhere. So they can be connected with deceased loved ones who are on the other side, letting you know that they're around, that they're okay. But it is most definitely, for me, a sign of transformation. So either I see it as being something like, if things have been challenging, butterflies can come through and they can be a reminder, oh yeah, things are feeling challenging right now because they're shifting and they're changing. And even if this moment isn't feeling comfortable, or if I'm, not feeling positive about where things are, and maybe having a hard time seeing like the positive in what's coming, butterflies can come through and they can shift that, and they're helping to transform the experience that we're in. So yeah, butterflies are really powerful and significant, and what a wonderful way for your guides and angels to show you that they're around and helping and supporting you. Sarah, that's awesome, and thank you for asking about it too. Carrie said, or is asking, did anyone release and level up? Did anyone release and level up? I'm not 100% sure what you're commenting on, Carrie, but can you? Oh, you mean me. You mean me. Carrie, thank you. I appreciate that. Carrie was actually a really beautiful little fairy for me earlier this week, and dropped a couple of little gifts off this pendant, beautiful pendant being one of them. Thank you, Carrie. And also some flowers that I found later, which is surprising because they were literally all together. So the birthday is actually this coming Tuesday, so I haven't started doing any work yet. But it feels really great that we're doing this all together, to do some releasing, to do some forgiveness in preparation of the new moon that we're experiencing on Wednesday. I'm pretty sure it's Wednesday. Something's telling me the 28th though, which would actually be Thursday, but it's coming up quickly. Let me see. So Anne, I'm so sorry, we're not doing personal readings today. I would love to connect with you if you're able to hop on Tuesday. I will be live on my show, Connection with Intention, this coming Tuesday, and would love to tap into that for you. And JC, oops, we've got some motorcycles going by. It's one of the drawbacks of being so close to the road. JC is asking, why are the spirits so active lately? There's been a lot of shifting and transformation that's happened. So Sarah was just talking about the experience that she had with the butterflies coming. I think that's can also be really significant in saying that there is a lot of spirit activity. One of the things that I've been noticing for myself and for clients is that the awareness of limiting belief systems, limiting ideas has really been coming to the surface. Oh, you guys, you can't see it, but there's literally a butterfly fluttering around the table just behind the camera. Yeah, so there's a lot of limiting belief, as I said, that's coming up, that's grabbing our attention and is asking for that shift. And I think that that's part of the reason that spirit is so active lately, because we're going through a lot of shifts. This is all helping to raise our energy and vibration, which means that it's easier for us to connect with spirit, and to perceive it or their presence around us. So I think that a lot of it has to do with what's happening on our level that we're raising up so we can connect more. Basically, when it comes to connecting with spirit, we're down here. We kind of vibrate at a slower vibration, and spirit vibrates at a much faster vibration. So when they connect with us, We have to vibrate faster and they have to slow down their vibration so we can come into closer range with each other. It's kind of like if you have somebody that you're calling out to and they're way over there, and you try yelling and they can't hear you and you can't hear them. You guys walk closer together so you can hear each other better. It's exactly what happens with spirit too. When we're connecting with them, they have to come down, we have to go up in order to hear them and to connect with them. So the fact that we are on a bigger level, raising our vibration means that we're better able to perceive spirit more easily. So that's a really great question, JC. And feel free to pop in some more information about that if there are other specific questions you have, because that would be great to tap into. Let me see. Oh, and Leslie, thank you. I really appreciate the birthday wishes, and from Carrie as well. 42 is going to be a great year. Hi, Margaret. It's so good to see you. Thank you for joining me. Let me see. And Anne saying a monarch flew round and round me and my garden, checking out my milkweed plant yesterday. Awesome. I always love it when Bobbi joins us, but I'm sure that Bobbi would also be really aware of what milkweed plant does or what it signifies. So if anybody knows, and maybe you know, but that would be really, really interesting. And what a cool experience. Thanks for sharing with us. Fabulous. Oh, and thank you. I appreciate your birthday wishes. Um, and if you would like to connect for a reading, I would love to connect with you too. I do still have a couple of spots available this coming week. And I will be off for my hours will be a little hit and miss over the next couple of weeks. I'm super excited. My sister and nephew are coming up to visit. It's been almost 8 years since I've seen my sister, and 3 years since my nephew has been able to come up. So my schedule is going to be not what it usually is. Awesome. And Leslie's saying, yeah, so many dragonflies and butterflies this year in your yard. Amazing. And, I know that dragonflies also have a really significant meaning and symbolism to them. It's not coming to me right now, but if anybody else knows, please drop it in the comments. I find that our community is such an amazing resource, and people know so much and they're so happy to give and share. And that's just one of the things I love about you guys being here and connecting. So thank you. Let me see. Yeah, yeah, it was totally showing confirmation. You're absolutely right, Carrie. Let me see. I'm all over the place. I keep knocking my mouse, which knocks me in where I am in the comments. So if I unintentionally skip your comment, please comment again below. The other thing that's happening, we're currently broadcasting to 5 different places. And I noticed after I got off my Connection with Intention show the other night that there were comments that people had left that didn't even show up on my screen. So please know, if I skip over your comment or your question, I'm not ignoring you. Sometimes they don't come through. Yeah, and Kareen saying that she got COVID again. I am so sorry. Yes, definitely. Lots of self-care. And let's just take a moment to send a bit of extra love and healing to Kareen and to anybody else who can use it right now. Um, hmm. I'm gonna come back to that one in a minute. That actually just tweaked something for me, an experience that I had earlier today that I wasn't sure that I was going to talk about. Jenny, I'm so glad that you're here. Thanks for joining us. And Chantel, it's great to see you. Thanks for popping on. Oh, wonderful, Jenny. I'm so glad. I'm so incredibly glad that you're here to share with us today. That's beautiful. And hello to Brianne. Oh, and Anne is saying milkweed is what they eat, the butterflies. Well, that is perfect. Thank you for supporting our butterflies. I don't often hear about the foods that insects really need, except for bees. Of course, bees are really important, but it's always great to have that learning too. Let me see. Chantel saying, I feel the dragons coming in more to support what is going on. Your thoughts on this? It's interesting. I actually haven't explored much with dragons. And it's funny because I was just thinking about this the other day. I've had lots of experience with, of course, the angels, the archangels. Those are like the main energies that I connect with. But I also have experience with fairies, with mermaids, with dolphins, with unicorns, and other elemental beings, but I haven't encountered dragons a lot. But I'm glad that you brought it up because I realized that I purchased one of Diana Cooper, I think that's her last name, one of her card decks, the dragon deck, and I got it specifically for my nephew. So I'll have to pull that out and we will connect. So Chantel, I might have a better answer for you in a couple of weeks after I've taken time to connect with them. But please feel free to share what you feel around dragons. That sounds really interesting and fascinating. Awesome, Jenna. It's so good to see you. I'm so glad that you joined us today. Yeah, and Kathy's saying I have lots of dragonflies around, and have had monarch butterfly following me today, even in the vegetable garden. Cool. So I mean, it's definitely the time when we're going to be experiencing them. But man, isn't it powerful when we're able to have those individual experiences too, and to really be present in those? We've got Silver Phil. Hi, Silver Phil. Welcome. It's so good to see you. Okay, so I'm not seeing any other questions in. How do people feel about doing some releasing and some forgiveness and some manifestation this afternoon? I know that there's a little bit of a delay, so I might just start jumping in. So I'll start by talking about the energy of the moon cycle. It is such an incredibly powerful energy. When we lived with the rhythms of the earth, the moon was something that we lived by, that we learned by. It would sync with women's cycles. And so for women in particular, the moon is an incredibly powerful energy to connect with. The full moon is a time of releasing. And again, when we lived with the energy of the earth for women, this is a time of releasing of what was unfertilized. This was like the shedding of the uterine lining. So letting go of something that was no longer a resource, was no longer helpful. It had, its time had passed, and it was time to allow for the beginning for something new. So that's why with the energy of the full moon, we do releasing work. The new moon being 14 days later, and of course at that point, many of our cycles, or all of the cycles for women, were basically lined up and syncing with the lunar cycle. And so the new moon became the time of new opportunity, of growth, of building. And so this is why we manifest, because the body at that time was fertile. There was ovulation, there was the possibility of beginning. And this is when everything starts building up and preparing for new life again. So this is why we manifest with the energy of the new moon. So you may be saying, Erin, we're focusing on the new moon because the new moon's coming up. Why are we doing releasing when releasing is something that is more relevant, seems more relevant for the full moon? And the reason for that is, one, any sort of manifestation work, it's always good to clear things out. It's kind of like if you're preparing to do a great big project and you're going to be working on your kitchen table, you clear the table off so that you have the room, you have the space, and there aren't any other distractions. So that's why, that's one of the reasons that I focus on releasing, is that it clears things out and it gives us that really fresh start to start from. And sometimes we don't have the opportunity to do releasing, or as we're going through the releasing process, we realize that there's more stuff that we didn't look at. So this gives us the opportunity rather, to do a really thorough cleaning, to really release what is no longer serving us. So when I do my releasing, I started a little bit before we hopped on. And again, you don't need anything special for this. I would encourage you actually not to use things that are special. Like, don't use your special and favorite diary for this, because particularly for the releasing things, it's all about letting it go. So when it is safe to do so, I will likely burn all of this because I don't want to hold on to it. So grab your paper and take a moment to come and sit with me. I like to ground a little bit first, to take a couple of breaths, and I like to say, what is it that has been on my mind or has been challenging me, or what do I feel has been standing in the way of moving forward lately? What what am I ready to let go of? And this can be a variety of different things. This can be feelings, this could be thought systems, this could be relationships, it could be situations. What do I want to let go of? And when I talk about relationships, maybe you're experiencing some challenge in a relationship. You don't want to let go of the relationship altogether, but maybe you want to be able to remove the thorn that is currently creating challenge within the relationship. So perhaps maybe you want to release the significance of it, whatever this thing is. Maybe I don't want this to be as present in my relationship, or I don't like the way that I feel with this. I want to bring awareness to this, and I want to actively let go of the feeling that I have. So I encourage you to do some writing as we're talking here. My intention when I do these is always to join you in doing it, but it just seems weird for me to sit here and not to say anything. So who knows? Maybe I should release that. But there are a lot of things you can release. When it comes to emotion, and I have this written down because over the last little while I've been experiencing some anger, which is unusual for me in my nature. And my first inclination is I don't want to feel this anymore. It's incredibly uncomfortable to feel this and to experience this. And so actually on the top of my list of the things that I'm releasing, I've written down the anger that I'm feeling. And I had to sit back for a moment and say, hey, Erin, you know that emotion, particularly uncomfortable emotion, that is like the street sign that our intuition is using, particularly if you are clairsentient, which means clear feeling. I mean, spirit, God, source, universe, whatever your belief system is, they use emotion to get our attention, and particularly the emotions that are uncomfortable, because they're pointing us at something. So I'm getting this too, guys. If you find that you are wanting to release some emotion that you've been feeling and you've been experiencing, and if it's just not going away, recognize that there is more to understand. So if you're in the same position, maybe part of what you can do is release any preconceived notions or ideas about what this anger might be pointing me to. And I release that so that I can come into deeper awareness and understanding of what this emotion means for me, of the message that it has, so that I know what I need to focus on. Like, there's no point in ignoring the street signs because sometimes they're really important street signs, like road ending soon. Don't go over the cliff. Awesome. So just let's get a quick check-in. How are people doing with the things that they've written down to release? Again, there is a little bit of a delay, so I'll talk for a moment. I'll check in with the comments that have come in, but let me know, how are you doing with the writing of your releasing work? Fabulous. We've got lots of confirmation around being ready to do the releasing work. Yeah, and Jenny's saying, I was sitting outside last night, taking in nature, had some animal of nature come right up to me. Ooh, was white and black. Thoughts of it. Oh, interesting. I mean, anytime that nature is feeling comfortable enough to come up to you, as long as it's not threatening you, because immediately I think about like the bears going into people's houses and actually creating harm. I think that it is really important to maintain distance from wildlife so that they aren't being put into danger of being euthanized. But definitely there are always messages that can come through with that, that there's something in you that is drawing that experience. And one of the things that I would encourage you to do is to check out Ted Andrews' book, Animal Speak. I also recently found his page on Facebook. He is no longer with us physically, but he has a wonderful just little description of some of the meanings that can be behind animals, and what that means if you have dreams with them or experiences with them, or if they keep popping up for you. We may actually see some deer behind me. We've had a lot of deer walking up on the beach recently as well. So I'm kind of hoping that that'll be an experience for us today. Let me see. Margaret saying amazing timing. I was just writing a release letter. Oh, amazing. Before this live stream, as it's today's exercise as part of a 33-day energy challenge I'm doing. Wonderful timing. Congratulations. And thank you for joining us. So you're already ahead of the game. Kathleen, we're not doing readings today, but please join us for the releasing work that we're doing. And on Tuesday night on my Connection with Intention show on my Heavenly Messenger Facebook page, we do that on Tuesday nights. Let me see. Jenna is saying, oh my goodness, I've been doing some releasing and processing since we moved back, and man, has there been some anger coming up. It's like my inner teenager is bringing the rage. Yeah. So I mean, like, especially when you're experiencing emotion in a degree that you don't normally experience it, that's definitely a sign saying, hey, we need to address this. We need to take a look at this. So again, if you are trying to release something and it's just not releasing because it's big, know that it's in your life for a reason. You need to pay attention to it. But you certainly can ask for help in coping with the experience you're having so that you're able to actually like delve into the releasing of it. Let me see. Carrie saying, releasing some of my divine masculine. Ooh, so my divine feminine can come in. Awesome. That's fabulous. Or possibly maybe not even releasing the divine masculine, but like what would happen if you maintained divine masculine where it was and you allowed divine feminine to come up and to meet it? Like, instead of releasing part of yourself or toning part of it down, what if you said, hey, like, meet me where I am, divine feminine, and let's like just do this. Yeah. Okay. Oh, awesome. Diana Cooper's dragon deck is beautiful. This is Chantel. Dragon is coming up more in my experience. I saw a pink and silver dragon in meditation. Oh, from Andromeda, and then pulled the pink dragon from the Andromeda deck, and there's a silver dragon in the deck too. Oh, isn't that cool? Well, I'm super excited to check out the cards. They didn't resonate for me when I got them a couple of years ago, but as I said, they've been popping in for me too. Yes, Carrie, awesome. All right, so I'm going to assume that everybody has finished doing the releasing writing. And so there are a couple of things that I like to do with this. Once you have your writing, if you know Reiki symbols, like because you've been attuned to Reiki levels, this is a really great time to incorporate them. You might want to say, for example, use your time and distance symbol here, and you might want to use your mental emotional symbol as well. I like to draw over my writing with a highlighter because then I can still see through it. But whatever you have, it can be a great thing to do. And then I like to hold this to my heart. And basically, this is kind of like a little love letter I'm sending out to the universe and saying, hey, I'm going to pour all of this into it. When I do releasing work, I like to end with this and anything else that no longer serves me, because sometimes I'm not completely aware of everything that I need to release and that I need to let go of. So if I put in there the intention that I'm going to release everything that I'm aware of, as long as it's in my best and highest good, but I'm also going to release the things that are no longer serving me, that are holding me back for whatever reason. I put this out, I release this and anything that no longer serves me. And as you breathe, as you sit here, you can close your eyes if it's comfortable. Connect to all of the things that you have on your list and see and feel as they leave your body, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and energetically, and see as they infuse themselves into the piece of paper. And as you're sitting here, you can take a scan through your body and just say, hey, like, how is my body feeling? Now that all of those things are out of the way, how is my body feeling? Is there anything else that I'm able to identify that feels like it's ready to release? And just keep breathing. And allow whatever emotion is coming to the surface for you, allow it to come up. Sometimes you're just ready to let stuff go, and it's just like, blip, 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 it's done, it's gone, it's fine. Other times, maybe it's been a while since you've been doing releasing, or maybe you've been overlooking things because you haven't been ready to release them. And so maybe it's a little more difficult and challenging to release. So just take some breaths. And when you're ready, take your piece of paper, and there are a couple of things you can do. We are letting this go. So I like to thank the energy of God, source, universe, angels, again, because that's who I like to work with. But whoever or whatever you like to work with, bring their energy in and see yourself placing this with them. This is no longer yours, and seeing it being taken from you with love, knowing that you are not burdening anyone in the releasing that you're doing. This is just for you. One of the things I like to do from a symbolic point of view is I like to crumple it up. Like, that's it. I'm done. I'm releasing this. And there isn't any part of this or any part of what I'm wanting to release. No, it's all here. None of it is in me anymore. So from that perspective, I'm going to literally throw it away. I will go back and pick it up later, because I will also at some point in the future, I'm going to burn it, because for me that's significant, but not right now. So I'm literally throwing it away. It's done. Let's take a moment. Let's take a moment and just sit with that and allow ourselves to be. Oh, we've got another butterfly. He just flew behind me. And again, like, butterfly is that energy of transformation. I see that as a beautiful confirmation of what we're all doing together. I think it's really powerful to do this kind of work with other people, because what I'm releasing is intensified by the energy that you're putting out and releasing, and what you're releasing is amplified by the energy that I'm putting out and releasing too, and we're able to release even more. If you're watching this not on the live with us, know that you are part of this energy too. I mean, like, time and space, they don't mean a lot. So even though you're not like present with us in this moment, know that you are still connected to us. I think that's really powerful. Whew. All right. So let's just do a quick check-in. I'll go into the comments, but let me know, how are you guys feeling? I only wrote a couple of things down, but man, that one's really hitting me. This is a really lovely, beautiful opportunity, and I'm grateful for each and every one of you for being here and for being present today. Thank you. Yes, awesome, Carrie. I'm glad that you got the message. That's fabulous. Oh, and Silverfill is saying that Diana Cooper's a dragon deck is his favorite too. That's awesome. I'm definitely going to have to pull mine out. Yes, Margaret, absolutely, for the reminder about using the Reiki symbols. And I talk about Reiki symbols because that's what I practice and that's what I teach. If you have other symbols that are appropriate, the reason that I mentioned the two that I did, I talked about the time and space symbol. So in level 2 in Reiki, we have this symbol that allows us to move back and forth through time and through space. It's really actually very cool. And the reason that I use it is, like, I want to go back to whenever or wherever this started for me. Like, let's go to the root of it and let's release it. And same as, in down the line for our manifestation, we're also going to use that symbol for manifestation, putting that energy into the future and possibly bringing like that energy back into our present reality. It is such a fun symbol. And just from a Reiki perspective, the way that it was taught to me, we didn't go into the depth of what you can do with it. And it is such an exciting thing to do. So you can use your intention. I mean, intention is so huge. That's part of the magic of what we're doing, right? You can definitely use your intention to go back into time. One of the ways that I see it, just so happens I've got some extra paper here with me, is I see it as like a linear timeline. And can you guys, I don't know if you guys are able to see that or not. Shoot. Okay, well, I'll quickly draw it and I'll see if you can join me. This is when it'd be handy to have like a blackboard. Okay, here we go. So I've got a timeline here. You might be able to see it or not. And this is me right here, right? And in the past, this is my past. All of these different things happened that I experienced. And all of these things are part of what I'm releasing. So I'm going to go back in time. I'm going to pull all of these things out. The emotion of it, not necessarily the experience of it, because that experience is part of what brought me to this point today. But I'm definitely wanting to bring awareness to these times, so that either I can like remove whatever it is that is keeping me stuck in it now. Or I can offer healing to this too. Like, if you think about it, think about, I'm going to use the teen years because for me, those were incredibly tumultuous years. And for many of us, they were really tumultuous too. So maybe you can go back to your teen years and think about a time, where your self-esteem was really bruised. And it's easily bruised because we're still learning who we are, and we're surrounded by others who are still learning who they are. And there's a lot that happens. So go back to a time. And wouldn't it be awesome in that time if you were able to give yourself great, big, huge love? Like, we often talk about, what would you tell your 20-year-old self with all of the knowledge and the awareness and the information that you have now? What would you tell them to focus on or not to worry about? What if we took the love that we have for ourselves, for that teenage self who was hurting, and what if we were able to give them a great big huge hug? Because not only do we have that love, but we have full and complete understanding of where they are and why they're feeling that. And wouldn't it be an amazing gift for that teenage self to receive that gift of love that you have the ability now to give? That's kind of what we're doing with this when we're going back in time. And just to throw it out there, you can go forward in time too. So let's say here at this point, you've created whatever it is that you wanted to create. What if we brought like that energy and that intention and that knowledge of what you're able to do and create? So kind of like us going back to our teenage self, like, what if we were able to take our future self 10 years out from now, who is like done and created and like is in the place that we're wanting to be right now? What if we could bring that energy back into our current experience? How would that amplify everything that we're creating, and how would that support what we're moving towards? Wouldn't that be amazing? It almost feels like it's being able to bottle the energy that a toddler has, and then being able to chug it back and being supercharged like a toddler. Is anybody else with me on this one? Awesome. Okay, so let me see. Oh, amazing. Shannon saying that she loves this, that she came right on time at the reminder. I needed it. Excellent. I'm so glad you're here, Shannon. You were popping into my head earlier today, so I'm glad that you're here. Perfect. Oh, Margaret is saying that she can see it. That's great. I'm so glad, because it's hard for me to know with the lighting the way that it is. Okay, so we've done our releasing. Let's do some forgiveness. And this was an idea that I was introduced to a couple of years ago, and it has completely transformed the way that I do releasing work. Forgiveness is so important. And take a moment, and let's reflect upon the things that we released. If it's something that we are feeling significant about, that we've been holding it for quite a while, and that we're actively needing to release it now, usually there are some other things that are coming up for us with it. Maybe it's guilt over having had that experience, or anger and frustration for having stayed in a situation or in circumstances longer than you knew you should have, or guilt about actions that you didn't take, or that you should have taken, the woulda, coulda, shouldas. There is such a huge capacity in this moment. And forgiveness of self can be one of the most powerful things in allowing yourself to truly let this go. Because if you forgive yourself for anything that is attached to or connected to those things that we have just released, then those things no longer have power over you anymore. And that is big. That's huge. So in this moment, take a second to feel into yourself and to offer yourself forgiveness. I see forgiveness of self as also being a really beautiful compassion that we can offer to ourselves. And compassion is huge. In the spiritual community, the ideal is that we offer compassion not only to ourselves, but to others as well. To be compassionate and to be non-judgmental, recognizing that everybody is doing the best that they can with the resources that they have. If we are unable to offer ourselves compassion, it is very difficult to truly be able to offer somebody else compassion as well. And this is perhaps seen, and I'm saying this as a woman who has not had children, but is perhaps best seen in the way that mothers will speak to expectant mothers. Oh, it's going to be so terrible, or oh, this is just the beginning, or going through all the things because they didn't receive like the support and the compassion that they needed when they went through it. And so they're, instead of saying, hey, I'm going to be there, I can help you, I can support you, it's like, oh, it's just going to be, oh, just wait for this, or oh, that's going to be terrible, or what if instead we were able to offer each other compassion in those times, in those spaces as well. So forgiveness is one of the first steps towards compassion for self, which means that we then increase our ability and our capacity to offer forgiveness and compassion to others so that we are no longer held in those. Right. So let me see. We don't have any comments yet. That's just fine. So some of the things that you might want to focus on with forgiveness, again, I forgive myself for all of the choices and the decisions that led me to this point. Now that I know better, I can do better. And having that action step, that action plan can be helpful too. So maybe that's part of the forgiveness that you're offering to yourself, is not only forgiving that action, but having the plan moving forward. I forgive myself for staying in a situation, even though everything was yelling at me to change or to stop. And so moving forward, I'm going to pay attention to those signs, and I'm going to maybe do X, Y, and Z instead. Allow this to be a really beautiful opportunity for learning. So I'll do a quick check-in to see how people are doing in the process. Let me know. Do you need another couple of minutes? Are you feeling you're pretty good? Oh, and one other thing, of course, I've focused on forgiveness of self, which is absolutely really important. But you may also be in a place where you're able to offer forgiveness to others. So say you've got a change in a relationship that you are looking at. I forgive what the other person did to me or what I allowed them to do to me. I really recognize that this person is doing the best that they can with the resources that they have. And I recognize that the resources that I have are maybe not necessarily the same as the resources they have. And that, as we're going through doing the best that we can with what we have, recognizing that sometimes, even though I have 100% resources, sometimes I'm only functioning with about 75% of the resources that I usually have. So I'm just not able. And I offer that same awareness to the other people who are involved in the situation too. So forgiveness can be for yourself, and I would encourage you to make sure that you include that in this. But also where you are able, offer forgiveness to others. Remembering that forgiveness doesn't mean that you are saying whatever happened was okay, but you're just saying, I'm ready to move on from this because I don't want this to have this control over me anymore, or to control me in the way that it is. Awesome. Lovey, first of all, I love your name. And thank you for joining us. It's great to have you here. We're currently we're doing a forgiveness exercise during the new moon energy that we're coming into. So if you would like to grab a piece of paper and a pen and join us, you're more than welcome to, or sit and enjoy in the energy and go through in your head. It's totally okay too. Wonderful. Margaret saying, thank you. Feeling very connected to my heart space as you've been talking. Awesome. This is such a powerful exercise to do at any time. The full moon and the new moon, of course, being really powerful times to do it and to connect with it. But at anytime you're processing something, find what you can release, what's no longer serving you, and bring attention to it. And where can you offer forgiveness? Oh man, it's such a powerful thing. Wonderful. So I want to do a check-in. How are people doing with the forgiveness that they're offering to themselves? I might just start moving forward and ask you to join along when you're ready, because I am aware that we're moving on in time. So once you have the piece of paper, again, if you have your Reiki symbols, you're more than welcome to incorporate any of the Reiki symbols that you're drawn to. I only prepared releasing. So I am just going to quickly infuse this piece of paper with the forgiveness that I'm offering. And I'm going to say what I am offering forgiveness for. So when you're ready, bring this piece of paper to your heart and bring your intention to seeing and feeling as these energies are allowed to come into your body physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and energetically. All of the forgiveness that I have offered to myself, I see, feel, understand, and hear as it connects with me on all levels. As you continue to breathe, I offer myself this beautiful gift of forgiveness. I offer myself compassion, recognizing that each of the things that I have released have also been opportunities for me to learn, for me to grow, for me to come to new understanding and awareness. And now that I have that understanding and awareness, I allow myself the power to make different choices in the future. Now that I have this awareness, I have the tools because I've given myself the gift of time. Given myself the gift of time to identify the things that were no longer working, to identify the sharp edges where I've been unkind to myself, and I've softened those edges. And I allow the opportunity for healing on all levels. In many ways, this forgiveness is a freedom. This starts opening doors and opportunities. It helps to create space for healing for myself and for anybody else involved in this situation. It offers me the opportunity to walk in my life in a different way. And it opens me to new experiences. And experiences are all part of the human experience. That's why my soul is here. My soul is here to learn and to grow. And I offer forgiveness to anyone that I am ready to forgive. Again, recognizing that this is not accepting that what they did was right or okay, but just that it no longer has power over me. I allow myself to forgive because I deserve peace. I deserve to be able to move forward too. And just take a moment to feel that moving through your body physically, moving through your energy. Breathe into it. How does it feel to offer yourself forgiveness in this time and in this way? I'm feeling drawn to allow us to just breathe here and to relax. If it's comfortable for you, continue to breathe. Pay attention to how your body feels. Do you notice anything on a physical level? Are there any areas where perhaps this energy of forgiveness is creating resistance? Allow this to be an opportunity to explore the resistance that's there. This is one of those signposts, like emotion, strong emotion, that we have a difficult time releasing and letting go of. resistance shows us also maybe where we need to work a little bit harder, or not even harder, but to bring awareness. That's a much better way to put it. Resistance always reminds me of stretching my hamstrings. My hamstrings are a particularly tight area of my body, and they actually create a lot of challenge because they're tight in through my low back. And so when I stretch in through my hamstrings, it's something that I need to actively relax into, because there is resistance that is there. Because there is resistance, it asks me to slow down, to breathe, and to actively relax into this space. We often see resistance as being a bad thing. But resistance, again, just shows us where we need to put our energy and our attention. So instead of trying to just work it out, celebrate it and thank it for being here, because it's showing you something else. Allow this to be another street sign along the way. And when you're ready, you can take this piece of paper, and there are a couple of different things that you can do with it. Again, it's something that I like to let go of. So crumple it up and pass it on, or throw it away, or to burn it. And part of the reason for that is when we hold on to things, we are showing like the universe that there's something we're afraid to let it go, that it's still serving a purpose. And I would like to empower you in this moment with the ability to take these feelings that you're currently experiencing right now, and give yourself permission to come back to this experience at any point in the future, so that this paper is no longer necessary. Because all of the energy and the forgiveness that we put into this paper by honoring it and recognizing it, we already have it in ourselves. So we don't need this piece of paper anymore. We can release it. So in that energy, I'm going to release this. I'm going to crumple it up, and later I will burn it. But I am letting it go because I no longer need this paper. It's already here with me. So we release it and we let it go. Awesome. Oh, and Bobbi popped on for just a moment, and Bobbi says that she loves us and that she's sorry that she missed us. So yes, Bobbi, thank you. I had a feeling you would pop on today. It's so good to see you. All right, I want to do a check-in. How is everybody feeling with that one? That one was big. As I said, I didn't have time to actually write anything down in preparing for it, but man, I felt that one. Oh, Bobbi, you're still here. Yay. Bobbi, we have not been nearly as giggly without you here. So, the next time we're going to have to hop, chop, chop to make up for the decreased laughter and fun and play. And Bobbi says, yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to have lots of fun. I will just mention, because I don't have any other comments coming in, Bobbi and I won't be here next week live, but we are going to be connecting this week. Bobbi, we need to talk about that. And we're going to do a pre-recorded show for at least next weekend, and possibly a couple of other weekends in the month of August. We would love if you sent us questions that you have. So again, not reading questions, but general questions. I've got a form set up on our universalconnections.ca website. I'll also make sure I put a couple of other posts up on our social media as well. And there is a form. It's right at the very top. It's the first thing that's on the page. And please send us your questions. They can be completely anonymous if you would like. There are 3 question boxes to fill in. One, what is your question? There's lots of room for you to write it in. The next one, you can put in a name. If you give us like your first and last name, we'll only use your first name, or you can put in like a funky fun name like Anonymous 234. angels rock. And the reason for that is so that you'll know your question when we're answering it. And there's also the opportunity to send your email. This is not required, but if you want us to let you know when your question is going to be on the live show, we can send you an email to let you know not only did we get your question and we talked about it, but we'll let you know which airing your question will be present on. So please head over to universalconnections.ca. Let us know, what are you wanting to know about? What do you want us to talk about? Awesome. And oh, fabulous. Carrie and Bobbi are talking back and forth. And Bobbi's saying, let us know what you want to know. That's right. Let us know. Okay, I'm going to assume that we've done the forgiveness. Oh, there are lots of motorcycles out today. And let's focus on our manifestation. So let's shake it up. First of all, let's let it go. So this is our fresh slate that we are focusing on. We've released anything that no longer works for us. Something that you might want to consider for your full moon releasing is releasing anything that hasn't come to fruition from the work that we're about to do with the manifestation. And if you're saying, Erin, I'm not fully and completely ready to do manifesting yet, don't worry. That's totally fine. Not only because we're still a couple of days from the new moon itself, but because you can continue to do manifestation after we have the new moon as well. So you've got about a week that you can you're still tapping into that energy. But let's take a moment and really focus on what we're wanting to invite into our lives. So I like to focus on gratitude with this. One of the challenges that we often have with manifestation is it's really difficult for us to see something that hasn't already happened, to see it as being a possibility. Sometimes we become really stuck in the experiences we've already had. So, for example, maybe I've never been married. So, as somebody who is open to the idea of getting married one day, it can be really difficult. My ego can say, yeah, but Erin, you're coming up on X age. I won't say it. It's okay. You're coming up on X age. You've never been married before. It's just not going to happen. And so because it's not been part of my lived experience, or maybe you're in a different boat. Maybe you have been married and maybe it was just awful. Oh man, we've already been married. Are you sure you want to do that? I mean, look at what marriage is. Marriage is all of these awful things. And you're saying, but what if marriage wasn't an awful thing? What if it was actually a really amazing experience? Because I'm a different person from the person who was married. I'm definitely going to marry somebody who's different from the person that I married before. So what we're wanting to do is we're wanting to let go of those limiting beliefs around what we can experience and just say, hey, like if anything was a possibility, what would I want to create for myself right now? One of the things that we can do is we can focus on the gratitude we have for the things that are already present in our lives. And one of the things that I've noticed over the years is when we talk about gratitude, people will say like, oh, I'm really grateful for my family, and I'm really grateful maybe that I have a car, and I'm grateful for a roof over my head. And I mean, although we are grateful for all of those things, in this particular moment, are you feeling big gratitude for your family? Or are you feeling big gratitude for your vehicle? Are you feeling really big gratitude for your home, for the roof over your head? And if you are, awesome, use it. But don't use something because intellectually you know that you're grateful for it. You want to focus on gratitude for the things that you're actually grateful for in this moment. So one of the things that you might be grateful for is, I am grateful that I no longer am held back by the things that I've just released. I'm grateful that I've taken this time for myself because it's been a break in my day. I've been able to sit with Erin with the sun in her eyes, and maybe I got a little sadistic pleasure from that. Sorry, that was just silly. But what is it? Focus on the things that you're grateful for. And what I like to do is I like to sandwich the things that I'm manifesting in the things that I'm grateful for. So, for example, I am really grateful that each and every one of you has joined me today and that we've had this opportunity to sit together and to do some work that's really amazing. I am so grateful for that. And then I'm grateful for, just because I use the experience, I'm really grateful for the relationship that I'm building and creating that's going to be something that is marriage. I'm just going to use that because that was the thing that we were talking about. And then I'm going to put something else I'm grateful for, something else that I already know to be true that I experience. I'm really grateful in this moment to be listening to the ocean in the background, to the animal over at the neighbor's house. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to sit here on a beautiful sunny Sunday afternoon and to connect with people. I'm grateful for that. And so by focusing on the things you already know to be true and having those things that you're manifesting and that you're creating in your life, having them surrounded by that, ego can't get in there as easily and say, oh no, well, you haven't experienced that, or that's not a possibility, or, forget that one being true, because you've surrounded it by things you're already grateful for. So you're like, so ego comes along and it says, yeah, Erin is grateful to be here with everybody today. Okay. Yeah. And she's grateful for this new relationship. Well, I'm not sure about that. But then she said this other thing. Yeah, she's grateful for, yeah, that's true. So all of those must be true. So basically, and it also raises your energy and vibration. When you focus on gratitude, and like true gratitude, not the guilty gratitude, I should be grateful for this, but in this moment, I'm not actually feeling it. When you focus on true gratitude, you raise your energy and vibration. And that raises the energy and the vibration of everything that you're wanting to create. Think about the way that you feel when you give something to somebody. And think about how good it feels when they gratefully accept it, rather than just kind of push it away. Oh, no, you shouldn't have, or I don't deserve it. But instead, they really enthusiastically say, oh, this is amazing. I'm so grateful. And they truly are grateful. That makes you feel good, right? Like it feels good to be able to give to somebody who is grateful, who is expressing that gratitude and appreciation. That's part of what the universe sees too. Like, oh man, look, she's so happy about all of these things that we've done. Well, let's do some more. Let's create more of that because it feels good. So gratitude is such a powerful manifester. The other thing, Bobbi says, I'm grateful for you. We're grateful for you too, Bobbi. Oh my gosh. But yeah, when we focus on the things that we are grateful for, it helps with inviting in the new experiences that we want in our lives. So as you're writing, include those things. And at the end, I always like to end with this or something better. And the reason for that is my idea of what is possible is limited by the things that I've experienced, and it's limited by the things that I know about. And with this one, I think about like jobs and careers. It is not that long ago that they said, I think it was back in like 2009 or 2010, they're saying we're training high school students for jobs that we don't even know exist yet. And I mean, that's obviously really relevant in terms of like the changing world that we're seeing in terms of like jobs and work, because I mean, 30 years ago, who thought we would have, 40 years ago, who would have thought that we would have cell phones in our pockets? I mean, that was just so far beyond. So we're limited by those things that we know to be like available, and potentially by our own belief system. So when you say, universe, help me to build and create this or something even better. And I think that's also a bit of humility that comes in there too, because you're recognizing you don't know everything there is to know about everything, and it opens it up. Yes. And changing your perspective can also breed more gratitude. Bobbi, I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, Bobbi's saying that changing your perspective can breed more gratitude. Absolutely. And as I said, earlier today, we talked about limiting belief systems really coming up to the surface for a lot of people. Take this as an opportunity to really explore that and to experience that and say, hey, like, I didn't think this was possible, but I'm open to being wrong. That's a really big one. And that can be a really difficult one for us to appreciate and to accept as well. So yeah, definitely changing perspective can breed more gratitude. Amazing, Miss Bobbi. Fabulous. So I'm hoping that you've had the opportunity to go through and to do your manifestations. I am going to have to get out of the sun soon because my laptop and I are both right in the sun. So we will go through this quickly and then I will have to sign off. So we're going to take a moment and we're going to experience all of that gratitude that we've just been exploring, we've just been feeling. Gratitude for the time here with each and every one of you today, whether you're here now or you're watching us on the pre-recorded. And allow yourself to experience life not only having released all of the stuff that no longer serves, having offered forgiveness to yourself and to anybody else who it's appropriate to offer forgiveness to, coming into this place of relief, into a place of beauty, into a place of open opportunities and experiences. And gratitude for the life that you are creating for yourself now through all of your intentions. Just breathe it in. See, feel, and experience yourself walking through life feeling lighter, walking through life in a place of balance. Carrie, your balancing of the divine feminine and the divine masculine just popped up for me. So embracing that feeling and that experience of living and walking and loving in the way that you are hoping and working towards creating, and seeing as that comes through. And again, we talked a little bit earlier about bringing that energy back. So maybe you're going into the future a year from now, 5 years from now. And at that point, all of the things that you are manifesting in this moment, those things are present in your life, or better, something better. What if we brought that awareness back into this moment and allowed it to help us to amplify our experiences now? We have the knowledge and the awareness that not only is that possible, but it's already happening. We're already in it, and allow that to propel us forward, right? I would encourage you to release this piece of paper as well. We talked about this a little bit earlier, and often people want to hold on to the manifestations that they create because they want to be able to continue to focus on it. And that's kind of like going to a restaurant and saying to your server, this is my order, but instead of you taking it to the kitchen, I want to hold on to the slip that you've just written down because I want to make sure that I remember everything that I just ordered when it shows up. That's kind of a fear thing. Like, it's a fear thing that, one, you're not remembering. And also, two, it's kind of counterproductive because you haven't fully and completely released it. Like, you're literally, in that way, you're standing in that person's job, or in their ability to perform their job. So for me, I like to release it because I don't need to hold on to it. It's already out there. It's already in me. I'm letting it go. So again, you can crumple it up. I actually haven't written on this piece of paper, so I'm not going to crumple this particular piece of paper, but crumple up your piece of paper and throw it away. Send it out to the universe. Set it on fire and put the ashes, bury them next to a tree, give it back to the energy, to the life force of the earth. Let it go. You don't need to hold on to it in order for it to come about and to happen. In fact, holding on too tightly prevents manifestation from happening. So with love and gratitude, release and enjoy. Let me see. Bobbi's liking the analogy. Yes, I love it. And such a need to have control over your manifestations when you don't let it go. Absolutely. And the other thing with manifestation, again, it's a serving example. Once you give your order to your server, you just kind of trust that they've done their job, that they've taken it to the kitchen, and the kitchen is working on your food, and you'll get it when it's ready. You don't keep checking in. Is it ready? Is it ready? Is it ready? Because if you do that, one, you're going to tick off your server, and potentially you're going to end up with somebody spitting in your food. And two, I can guarantee you it's going to take a lot longer for it to come to your table than if you just let it go. So let it go. and enjoy the rest of your afternoon, hopefully in the sun, like me. And JC's saying, sorry, I fell asleep. That's amazing. That's a wonderful way to do manifestation and releasing work too, because you've literally let it go. All right, you guys, I am definitely toasting and the laptop's getting hot. So I am going to say good night and goodbye for now. I am so incredibly grateful that you joined me today. Thank you for taking this time out of your day, for participating in all of the energy work that we've done, for being part of our beautiful and amazing community. Bobbi and I appreciate each and every one of you, and we're so incredibly glad that you joined us. Well, me and then her. And again, remember, if you have any questions for us in terms of like general questions that you would like to see on the show, we are going to be doing a couple of pre-recorded shows for some of the dates in August. We're going to be doing the recording this coming week. Please hop over to the website universalconnections.ca and let us know the questions that you have. If you would like, I can send you an email and let you know that we've answered your question and when it's going to air so that you can catch it. We're sending big hugs, lots of love and support to each and every one of you. And we will see you, I guess we'll see you when we see you. I will be on my show, Connection with Intention, this Tuesday, where I do readings. It's at 7 p.m. Pacific, which is 10 p.m. Eastern. And it will be on my Facebook page, Heavenly Messenger. Bobbi, I believe, is also available for readings. You can find out more about her, Bobbi Rowntree, Spiritual Medium, on Facebook. And yeah, we will see you later. Good night, everybody. Namaste.